Okay, any two-seater on the left here. You got it.
Words of wisdom. Do you follow them?
What's that?
Nothing good happens after midnight.
I do now. I never used to.
Yeah, okay. We just have to clarify that. Yeah. Teacher got caught.
Believe me.
Yeah. They got caught.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Alright, that being said, 2 cars down you'll find the Skyline car. That's also your takeout. That's where you get food, coffee, high price goods of all sorts. And it's also the Dome car. I'm Eric.
While traveling on the Canadian Air Crew is responsible for your safety and well-being. Traveling our economy class, we ask that you please take a few minutes to familiarize yourself with the safety pamphlet located in the seat pocket in front of you. Local time is 3:06. You can see the Pacific Central Station. This beautiful building was built in 1917 by Canadian Northern Railway and designed in the Beaux-Arts style. It was designated a Heritage Railway Station in 1991. As we leave Vancouver Station, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about the city. Greater Vancouver is the largest urban area in British Columbia and has a population of approximately 2.6 million people.
And it's not even as nice as the castle. I don't remember the name of the hotel. Banff Springs Hotel. Yeah. It's just everyone's so
And Calgary.
Andre, he doesn't hit the road. Vancouver was host to the 2010 Winter Olympic Games, in which Team Canada won a record 26 medals. Hope you have a pleasant day out here on board the Canadians with Leave Vancouver. Thank you. Et l'industrie principale sont le tourisme, l'ex- So, as you can see on the left-hand side of the train, the Fraser River.
Serving your noodles, dog.
My hair's the hardest hair to cut. You always do this side.
It is mine. I call it Wallahi, it's mine. I don't like. I just got waking up and felt like the train was next one and 400 marks.
Good news is, that's what I'm talking
You
about.
actually? Yeah.
Last I checked,
There was not a main We'll see.
Bonjour tout le monde, la Caralie 705. Nous sommes au village de Valemount.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we are in the town of Valemount. And Valemount is located at the foot of the Canoe Mountain, nestled between Montrachet Mountains and the Caribou Mountains. The village was incorporated in 1928, and the population was around 1,000 people. And since the railroad was constructed in the Rockies, lodging has been important to Valemount. Today, tourism thrives here too. In winter, it's a great place for activities like dog sledding, snowcasing, and skating. In the summer, people come for the exceptional kayaking, backcountry hiking, and horseback riding. There you have it, folks. We are leaving the town of Valemount in the province of British Columbia. Thank you. We're on this area of the province of British Columbia. As you can tell, it's a beautiful day to look at Moose Lake, and it measures about 400 feet deep. Some people say it's even deeper than that. No one really knows for sure. Nevertheless, Moose Lake is a beautiful lake to be going by on the train. Enjoy. Thank you. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, soyez à la lunchtime. Nous sommes à côté de Moose Lake, qui a une longueur de peu près 6 000, puis estime qu'elle est très avec 100 pieds. Personne ne sait vraiment comment cru que le lac elle-même est, et c'est encore une belle journée à regarder Moose Lake à la droite du train. Merci et bonne journée.
Okay.
California Zappa.
Yeah.
That was the best trip.
Okay, Cornelius, I take it that's you?
Uh-huh.
Alright, so car 3, and you're gonna be in 12.
Did you eat out there or
I
anything?
get it. Alright, so. And you got an American behind you, but he doesn't bite.
Tonight, subject to community pub.
Oh yeah. Salmon.
Mostly we have a market back home. This border, but back home we have about
Otherwise, that was one. Yeah, and they get hot or cold. 21 degrees.
they are, it's very difficult for
But we stayed in Carlsbad, which was up from it, a little cheaper. Yeah, we were doing Highway 50 in Nevada, to Eden, Nevada, and huge. And then the horse had one look at us and trotted off the road. So then we had to come back up because we were almost sideways.
So we're sticking. That's high up though.
Welcome to the town of Hinton in the province of Alberta.
Teaching, it wasn't a well-paid job.
Oh, that's good.
So they do for me.
That's good for you.
I personally like
$10 a day.
wages are very low. They should be taken very well.
What's the cost to rent a house? Because Via went private.
Right, right.
So, yeah. And he did the Orient Express once. Yeah, yeah.
Because we rigged
Oh,
it.
look, it's a Walter White van.
No, what? We didn't know rig it.
Next to a dilapidated shack.
Go, go.
When the hell were we next to a train?
Really slow.
Yo.
Yes, Connor, we're on a train.
I said, when the hell were we next to a train?